My favorite pastime, auctions. Went to an auction today, and kind of on a whim, because I hadn't been to one in going on almost 2.5 months. So I was getting the shakes and stuff from not going to an auction, and I picked up some pretty cool stuff. I'll tell you if it's a good buy or not as I go through it, because some boxes were not good buys, some boxes were. I think and most of it is for my machining hobby that I'm starting. So I don't know if you're normally a John Deere watcher, I don't know if all this is going to be all that important or all that interesting to you, but it is what it is. So start off with, I think this was one of the first things I bought. It's a Mitutoyo dial indicator. Unfortunately, it got wet, and so it's very stiff. And the dial doesn't work, so we're going to see if we can fix that. Maybe we can't. Oh well, if we can. I mean, you can see the rust. This was an estate from a gentleman. Evidently the house flooded earlier this year, so some of the stuff had been wet. Not the Starrett stuff back there, but some of it had been wet, and these were one of the things that got wet. I'll come back and talk about these here in a little bit, the torch sets here, because I actually bought a torch, so that'll be cool to see. I'll show you that here in a little bit. I, for some reason, bought a set of bushing drivers. I already have a set of bushing drivers, so I'm not really sure why I bought a set, but it's there. Something I am particularly proud of. I have been looking for one of these, and actually I needed one the other day, and I've got it on the bench backwards here. Okay. So like I said, I needed one of these the other day because I was doing some work, and I needed a larger tap. I needed a larger die. And so this is a little giant 311 combination adjustable die set, which I think is pretty cool. So it's complete. It appears to be a complete set. I don't know if these came with it, but you can see there's the rest of them in there. So really cool to see. I haven't dug too much into it. Obviously, we need to clean up some of the rust on the taps, things like that. But I think this will be a really, really nice set going forward. And, for me, when I'm doing threading and things like that, I'm not very good at it, but, you have to start somewhere. And this was one of those things that it was cheap enough. There weren't a lot of people at the auction. And so since there weren't a lot of people at the auction, kind of took a little bit of leeway and spent a little bit, probably more money than I originally wanted to. But I think I paid $80 for this. I think that was fair. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it seemed like it was fair. Here's everything that's in the 311 kit. So you have 16 cutting sizes, 1/4 up to 3/4. Then you have your Whitworth form thread and American form thread drill chart. Greenfield Tap and Die Corporation. So you see what it is. A lot of people probably know more than I do. So this is what we're at. So that's one thing that I got. And then we'll go ahead. We'll go through this box right here. So some of these pieces sold individually. Some of them sold in a box. This one actually right here, I am super excited to have. It is a Starrett 25-611. Really nice dial indicator. The mechanism is fantastic. Very excited to have that. The funny part is I think I paid in a box. I bought this as a box lot, and I want to say I paid $22.50 for the whole box, and that was in it. So very excited to have that. Also bought two new to me Mitutoyo. I think that's how you say it. Calipers. I already have a set. One's a 12-inch, one's a 6-inch. I already have a 6-inch. I do not have a 12-inch. They sold these as a pair. Funny part about auctions is sometimes you're wandering around, and here, this was actually in a toolbox that they had cleaned out, and I was able to talk to the guy that bought the toolbox. I did not know that Craftsman toolboxes were such in demand. It was a just ball bearing Craftsman toolbox, and I want to say it sold for like $500. But this is the plate for this, so put it in there, and it'll serve as a stand for it. So that's kind of nice. I bought this and the case. I think that's the correct case for... Basically, I think he was happy to be rid of some of the stuff in the... He was happy to be rid of some of the stuff in the toolbox that he didn't know what it was, because he just wanted the toolbox. And I was happy to... I don't know what all that is, but there it is. Really hard to do this one-handed. I've got some batteries. I'll try these out here in a little bit. Oh yeah, perfect. Fantastic. So now I've got a box for my mic. So that's actually or my mic. This is not a micrometer. This is a caliper. I got a box for my caliper. So that's actually very exciting. And like I said, I'll go in the house here in a little bit and get some batteries for it. I don't know, but probably doesn't fit in there like that, so let's leave that out. And then I think I've got an empty case that I can put this one in. If this one works well, I probably will sell this one. Like I said, they came as a pair. So I'll probably sell this one because I don't need it, because I've already got a 6-inch Mitutoyo caliper. They should work. And then we get into, actually I'm going to set these over here. Then we get into a whole box of Starrett stuff, mostly Starrett stuff. Center punches. A lot of these sold as lots. I did buy, even though I do not have my horizontal mill running and I do not have a vertical mill, I did buy 2 screw jacks. So these are the number 190 screw jacks. This one appears to be missing the head. I suppose you can just put that on there like that. I'm not really sure. I don't know how this stuff works, you know. I'm kind of guessing as I go along here, but I think I paid like 10 bucks each for these. So and I actually ended up with 4 of these. They're just another ones in another box. Angle gauge set. It's empty, so I don't have that. Then I ended up with some Mitutoyo radius sets. So stainless radius gauge sets. So there's all of the radiuses. Not that I'm anywhere near doing a radius or anything like that. Some of these need to dry out. And here's just additional radiuses. So feel much better about my capabilities for machining when I eventually get around to doing it again. And then here's just a few more. And we've got this card supposed to go in here. It blew out in the wind. So there's that. Hey, perfect. So there's the box for that. So this is the angle gauge set right there. So then got this, picked this up kind of on the side, Brown and Sharp number 1 or 1 inch. I guess it was originally owned by Scott Craft. Don't know who that is. Maybe somebody famous. But really nice feel to it. I haven't done too much. I've got a set of mics already, so, but that one was one of those things that it was there and it was part of a box lot, I believe. Then we've got, so here's another Mitutoyo dial indicator, but this is a reverse indicator. It was calibrated in 1996, so You take the back off there. Need some spring to it, but it's in there. I think that was also part of a box slot. Then we've got a Starrett 657 indicator holder. Making a complete mess here. I'm just going to set that up like that. And then we have a bunch of just random stuff in a box. I think they sold me this as just, I think this was just part of a box slot. I can't exactly remember how I ended up with all of this, but just a bunch of junk for the most part. All right. Then we've got in here, what was in here? I think this is just a crappy, yeah, this is just some shock-proof caliper set. Aerospace or something like that. I don't know if it's any good. It's a manual. Me struggling to read that. It's kind of funny. Here is just another caliper box. It's empty. And this one right here, here's just another random dial indicator. Nothing too exciting there. Keys. I don't know what this is. Oh, hey, screw pitch gauge. So Starrett 747 or 474 screw pitch gauge. And then screw thread tool gauge. I don't think this is on a Starrett. It's not a Starrett. And here's an empty Starrett container. And then some receipts. Whatever that is in there. Oops. I'm making a mess over here. This video is already kind of getting long. Sorry about that. If you don't like these, you can... Well, I said I was going to... This will be the second video today, so we should be pretty good. What was in this box originally? Mag base holder. So this is the holder for the mag base right there. So that's exciting to see. So here's a funny story. You know how auctioneers always got this random stuff they're trying to sell? I avoided buying this like 4 times and finally got stuck with it. I don't know what it is. Don't even know. It's all rusted, but I now own it. We've got an edge finder right here. It is a 827A edge finder. Here's another center punch right there. And then we've got just random stuff. I think this was part of a bulk buy right here. Don't even know what it is. So we're just going to say we're going to move on. Bought some hammers. Had an OTC feeler gauge. Had a whole box of feeler gauges. Decided to have those. We've got some Cleveland. Cleveland drill index. If I could ever figure out how to get it open. Oh no, twist drill set. So there's that. It's a promotion set. So there's Cleveland twist drill set. Hammers, other random crap. You know, anything else you'd find in an auction. Before I get to the bottom box, we'll go ahead and come over to this one. Here's my other 2 screw jacks right here. S190 screw jacks. So I've got 4 sets of those. I don't know how many does a person need. Small hammer, some pry bars, extractor that did some extracting and now is stuck. And then a tool holder without any markings or anything, which is kind of disappointing. And then we'll just drag this over here. And then I think I ended up with a couple of these boxes because the helicoil sets. So here's 2 helicoil sets. They've got some remaining helicoils in them. And then just some... This is a driver set. And then, yeah. So... that is all of that. let me go out and get everything else out of the back of the truck, and we'll come back and we'll look at a few more things. Hopefully this video isn't too boring, but yeah, let me go grab that stuff. All right, well, here's the torch set. I don't know a whole lot about it. I've never used a torch before, but you know, it was one of those things. I have been looking for one for quite a while, and this one I do need a new hose before I get too far. I do know, I believe the oxygen hose leaks. Oxygen tank is, it's got about 2,000 PSI in it, but the acetylene tank has very little pressure in it. I want to say like 50 PSI, something like that. I haven't even tried to start it up or anything. Not really sure about the tanks. Looks like this one was made in 93 and this one was in 94. At least that's my guess. I think that's how you read that. And then it was tested again in 04. And so I'm guessing we're going to have to test it again in 2019 if we're going to do anything with this tank. It doesn't look like this one has ever been tested. So at least that's how you do like dive tanks and stuff. You'll have them like hydrostatically tested and they'll just stamp the new date. So I'm guessing that this was an 11 of 04, and so that was the last time that any testing was done on it. So we're going to have it tested, or we'll just have to trade it out. No idea if these tanks are rented or owned. It doesn't look like they're rented. There's a number here, but I don't know what that number means. I'll have to see if I can figure it out, but there's no markings on it otherwise. So that's the acetylene set. Gonna learn how to use it. I don't know how to use it, so we're gonna learn. I've actually done a little bit of organizing, put some extra stuff on the table here, and then I've actually thrown some stuff away. But bought a bunch of brass stuff. Gonna make a brass hammer out of that. That's a solid piece of brass. And then I got a box of random crap that I need to go through and things like that. So those are my auction finds. If you have questions, leave them below. If you have comments, can't remember. Did I go over the OTC puller? I think I did. Anyway, this is an OTC puller right here. Really excited to have that too. Slide puller. So if you have questions, leave them below. If not, thanks for watching.